In this video, we're going to see how to use collections in Flow. So we will start with learning of what is a collection, and then we will just pick up a business use case and then implement the business use case using collections in Flow to get a better understanding how to use collections in Flow. So the very first thing is, so what is a collection? What is a collection? So before we talk about collection variables or collection, we need to know what a variable is. Let's say I say company name is equal to Salesforce. So now Salesforce is a value, a company, right? A value that is stored in the company name. So wherever I need to refer Salesforce, I can simply use the reference variable name, which is the company name. So this is what a variable is all about. Yeah. So a way to hold a value. That's all it is. So if that is the case, what is a collection variable? So I can use a collection variable to store multiple values or similar types. Say, for example, I want to hold multiple company names, Salesforce, Microsoft, Google, Meta, etc. So I can still create a variable, and the variable, can hold multiple values in one go. So it may be a group of email addresses, it may be a group of records, group of company names, etc., etc. So once you have populated the values, in your collection variable, you can certainly use it throughout your flow, throughout your automation. Yeah. So this gives you a better idea. Imagine that there is a cat, you have kept a cat in a bag, right? So this is a single cat that is kept inside a bag, correct? So now this is what collection is all about. So you have a bag which is a variable, okay, and it is meant to hold collection of, it's meant to hold, more than one kitten, basically a collection, right? So now let's apply this concept in our flow. So we're going to learn this collection usage uh, by doing a business use case. So this is the business use case. So the sales operations head is looking to find an easy way to mark all contacts non-mailable when a customer account is marked as inactive. This is a typical case, right? When a customer runs out of business, right? Or when we no longer do a business with a customer, we wanted to keep the contacts, the customer contacts in the customer contacts as is in the system, but we don't want to, or we have to ensure there is no communication either through email or other means, right? We don't want to enable any communication until the account is reactivated, correct? So for those customers that have been marked as inactive, okay, the sales users, the system has to automatically mark all the contacts as non-mailable. Okay, so we're going to give a button as an option to the sales team to select, so that the system automatically uh, updates each contact as non-mailable. Yeah. So as a system administrator or a Salesforce Flow admin, you are going to do this without writing a single line of code. So let's see how this is accomplished. Yeah. So let me go here. Let's take a sample account. So I have an account with the name Alfine. So it has two contacts, David and Emma Wilson. So right now this account is active. As you can see, it is active. So when I turn this, this is active, right? All right. So now when I turn this account inactive, right? And then what I would like to happen is I would like to see each contact, David Smith and Emma Wilson, both the contacts should be updated. Okay, this flag has to be turned on. Okay, and again, right now I'm going to mark this as inactive. Okay, save. Okay, but now automatically the system will not update non-mailable checkbox. Okay, because the requirement is we wanted to achieve this just by you know clicking a button on the account page. So let us create a flow and then add that flow as a quick action. Then when the user clicks on the button, let's update all the contact records. Okay, so again, there are multiple ways to solve this business use case, but we wanted to go with this approach because we wanted to learn how to use collections, right? Because as you can just see, for this particular account, there is more than one contact, certainly, right? So naturally, I wanted to use collection so that I can update each and every contact that is associated to this inactive account. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do it. So let's quickly jump on. to the org setup. All right, I'm going to click on new flow. Let it be a screen flow. All right, I just wanted to first add a. Let's break this before I add a screen element. Let's break this into two parts. One is I want to launch this flow as a quick action. Let's complete that, and then let's ensure how we can use collections and then update all the related context. Yeah. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a screen element. Okay, I'll just say this is my screen element with an output message. Yeah, and let's let's do this. Let's add a text, display text. So I'm gonna say account ID is the name of my component. I'll just say current account ID. Okay, so I'll click on done. Okay, so now the part one, I want to launch this flow as a quick action, right? So I'm gonna create a new resource. Yeah, so I'm gonna create a variable. Yeah, and I'm gonna give a name v underscore. I'm gonna give a name record ID, and then I'm going to mark this data type as text and also make it available for input now. So this is this is something that you have to remember whenever you want to launch a flow using quick action, right? So ensure that you create a variable of type text and the exact API name as record ID. If you do that, the lightning framework will automatically send the current record that is launching the flow, the current record's record ID to the flow automatically. So that's the reason I'm just giving, this API name as this. So don't give any other API names, just ensure that you're giving the same name. I'll copy this one, I'll say done, and I'll go to the output message and I'll go to the display text. I'll just simply try to find that resource, the variable that I just created. I'll click here and it should be right here. Yeah. So first let's see, whether this works or not. I'll say done. And I'll also, I don't need a footer, or also I don't need uh, I'll say OK as a label, no previous button and no hide, and hide the pause button. Say done. Yeah, let's save. And then let's say this is our screen flow, isn't it? Screen flow to update related contacts non-mailable. Yeah, that's the name of my flow. I click simply save this one. I'll activate this. Okay, I'll activate this. So now I'll go back to our object manager first of account because I want to add this as a quick action, right? So I'll go to account. I'll go to buttons, links, and actions. I wanted to create a new action. And in the action type, I'll see an option to select a flow. Done. And I should see the new one, screen flow, right? Done. So let it be label. I'll just say this is I'm gonna say disable contacts mailing status. Yeah, that's the label I wanted to have, and then I click on save. Now let me go to the page layout and simply add this quick action. So I can go back to the object manager again, go to account. I'll go to page layouts. I'll pick up the account layout, and let's go to mobile and liking actions. So this is where we have this disable context. So just drag and then drop it. Oh, looks like I have to first override the predefined actions. Yes, then drag and then drop. Let it be the first button, and let's click on save. Perfect. Now let's go back and then test it. I'll go to Alpine record. Let me just refresh the page. Yes, we got the action, quick action. Click. Perfect. I see the current records Salesforce ID, right? So our part one is completed. Now as a next step in the part 2, I want to use this account ID and then find all the related contacts, the collection basically, David Smith and Emma Wilson, right? So let me do that. So let me go back to the flow, and I want to create a resource. Okay. Or rather, let me first do this. So I'm gonna use get records, data element. I'll just say get all contacts. I'll just say related contacts. Yeah. So now look at the left panel. You see variable as record ID, right? And one screen element, right? So now let's just see what happens after I complete this step. Yeah. So I'm going to pick the record. I'm going to pick the object. Yeah. So I want to select account contacts, right? I want to get all the contacts, all the contacts. So this is where I can just mention the condition where I want to ensure that the account ID of a contact equals to, when I click, I will just see the record ID. Yeah, so because this is the one that is carrying the account ID, right? So this way I can able to bring records from the contact. Yeah, and before we close this pop-up, right, this is where this is where the actual difference is. So in our case, we wanted to bring all the contacts, isn't it? So it is not just the first record. I want to bring all the contacts, or all the records basically, right? And also I'm gonna choose automatically store all the fields. So now what happens is Salesforce will automatically create a collection variable for me. I don't have to do anything else. Just I just have to wait for Salesforce to create a collection variable. That's all it is, and it happens automatically when I click on done. Just watch out, click on done, and you can just see this, right? So Salesforce is actually, has actually created a new record collection variable for me. So now it is my turn to just, access each contact in this collection and then turn on this non-mailable, checkbox. That's the next thing I'm going to do it. Okay. All right. Now let's take a step back. So this particular account has got just two contacts, right? And all these two contacts are right now, in our flow. It is stored in a collection. So I want to go through each and every contact, right? David Smith, Emma Watson, and then one at a time, basically, right? Each contact one at a time, and then mark or enable the checkbox non-mailable, isn't it? How do I do it? Yeah. Think about it. If I want to take the one kitten at a time from that bag, right? I just have to take one kitten out, put it somewhere, then take the other kitten out, right? Just like that, I wanted to process each and every contact that is retrieved from the database. For that purpose, we're gonna use a loop. Okay, we're gonna use a loop. So not only that, the moment I pick up one account, one contact, and then mark this non-mailable checkbox status as true, I wanted to use another collection or another bag, okay, another collection to hold the records to be updated. Okay, so I'll just show you how we do that, and also you will gain the clarity the moment we do this, in action. So I'm going to create a new resource. Go for this variable. I'll just say v underscore. I'll just say contacts to update. Okay, because the context that we just picked from the database, right, it does not have so these contacts do not have the field non-mailable updated as true, right? Now I'm going to change that value. So once it is changed, I wanted to hold those modified records inside another collection, and then I can use this collection to update. Okay, so this is also another way to do a bulk update instead of doing an update, for instead of making a change in one contact and then doing an update. I can do this update in bulk. Okay, so that's a best practice that we should follow. So v underscore contacts to update, and I'm gonna say that this is a collection of contact records. So that's why I'm gonna choose record, and I'll just say contact. Yeah, and this is where I can just mark this variable as a record collection. Okay, I'll enable this, say done, and you can just see this, right? Automatically it got created. Yeah, perfect. Now let's go and then find a loop element. Click here. So a loop helps you to iterate over a collection. Okay, so it helps you to iterate over a collection, and you can able to access one item in that collection at a time. So let's see how we can do that. So loop through contacts. Okay, and now I can just have to map the collection variable. I know that this is the one that brought me all the contacts from the database, right? Contacts from get all records, the step we just created before, right? So click here. I want to loop from the first item to the last item. So the moment I do this, okay, I gain access to uh, each and every item in that collection. Okay, so I'm gonna say add element. Okay, now I'm gonna use assignment element. I'll just say modify non-mailable field value. Okay, so yes, so I'm gonna say so this is, as I said, right? So a collection a loop will help you to just go through each and every item in the collection, right? So Salesforce automatically gives you, current item. It gives you, or enables you to access current item in the collection. So I'll click on current item. Okay, and I'll just say non-mailable. Yeah, the current contact record, in the current contact record, the non-mailable, flag, it has to be equal to true. Okay, this will be equal to true. Once this is done, I wanted to transfer this modified record into our, collection that we actually created, and we are just going to keep that for a bulk update of records, right? So v underscore context, it is right now, it is an empty container or empty collection. I'm going to add that. I'm going to add the modified current item. That's it. That's it. Okay, so now this is where the current item is modified, and then the modified current item is actually, added to the final collection, where I will have all the contacts with the modified values, right, ready for an update. Yeah, that's the step we'll do. I'll click on done. That's it. Yeah, my, after this loop completes, then I will have all the records that needs to be updated in this, particular collection variable, right? Let's see that. I'll click on plus. I'm going to do a bulk update now. So I'll look for update records. I'll just say update all contacts mailable status. Okay. So now I'm going to say use this ID and all the fields for a record or record collection. See, now you can get this right, record collection. So all I have to do is just map the record collection, which is v contacts to update, or variable contacts to update, because this is the collection, a bag that carries all the contacts with the modified values, right? Let's click on done. That's it. We are all good. And finally, if everything goes well, what we can do is the display text, we can just simply say all contacts have been marked as non-mailable successfully. That's it. Sit down. Perfect. Just in case if something goes wrong, right? So I can just add a fault path, and I can add a screen again, where I can just say error message, and I can have display text again, a component, and I'm gonna say um, something went wrong, please contact admin. Of course, you can add, additional text or ways for the user to grab that error and then, reach out to the admin. There are multiple ways to handle this. For now, I'll make it very simple. And here I don't, yeah, in the footer, I don't want the pause button, I don't want the previous button. I'll just say custom label. I'll simply say OK. Say that. That's it. So now I'll click on save as, and I'm going to create a new version and then activate it. Activate. Let's go and then run a quick test. I'll go to Alpha and Lodge and Spa. So let me refresh this page. I'm gonna click on disable contacts mailing list. Let's see. All contacts have been marked as non-mailable successfully. Perfect. So we just got this message, right? I'll close this one and let's go and then check, check each contacts. I'll open David Smith. I'll open Emma Wilson as well in two different tabs. Perfect. I can just see this checkbox is enabled for David Smith. Let me see for Emma Wilson. Is this checked as well? Yes, it is. So now you can just see this, right? You can see how powerful the collection is, correct? So it is possible for you to modify a bulk records in bulk. Yeah. So it doesn't matter whether your account has got two contacts or 20 contacts or 50 contacts. Now this flow will help you to, very simply use collection concept and then modify the records and then update all the records in one go, right? So again, remember the best practice. So do not do an update inside a for loop. You will run into governor limits error. So use collection so that you can use a collection to modify the data. Use a collection template to hold all the modified data. Then finally, after the loop, come back and then update all the records inside the collection in one go. So this way, your flow is ready to process records in bulk. But most importantly, we just learned the concept of collections, how it can help you to play around with multiple records, right? I hope you have found this video helpful. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.